Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and did you know that Leeds United have been promoted back to the Premier League? Not sure if I've mentioned it, I've only made 2 videos in the past 2 weeks about them. But you've got to strike while the iron is hot, so here is our third and final video on the Elland Road outfit. Today we're taking a look at the team that won Marcelo Bielsa the title, and we're going to see where those players are in the year 2025, as well as what happened to Bielsa himself. Actually, I'll just tell you now, it's not that hard to work out. Of course he's retired. I mean, the bloke will be 70 in 5 years' time, so I bloody hope he has retired. Before we start, if you're new to the channel, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and become a subscriber for life, but more importantly, a friend. We're all Maras here after all. Anyway, let's get to the team and see where they end up in 5 years' time. MESLIER, Bordeaux. This career path of MESLIER is already skewed, as it doesn't take into consideration the fact that the Frenchman is now signed on a permanent deal with Leeds. On FM he was only on loan and made just 2 appearances, which by 2025 are his only 2 appearances in English football. After a couple of years in the second tier with Lorient, MESLIER is now a Ligue 1 keeper following a £2.3 million move to Bordeaux, and he's been just okay, but certainly not good enough for the FM version of Leeds to consider bringing him back. Luke Ayling, Plymouth Argyle. I've got high hopes for Luke Ayling as a Premier League player, but in 5 years' time Footy Manager thinks Luke Ayling will be playing in League 2 as far down south as you can imagine. Ayling now dons green instead of white, having just joined Plymouth for a huge £41,500 a week. I mean, there's a load of players that earn that just in wages a week. Before that he was at Hull, and he had a spell on loan in the MLS. 2 players in and FM haven't been kind to Leeds as title winners. Ah well, things can only get better. Ben White, Brighton. There are tears on Leeds right now, with most fans resigning at the fact that Ben White won't be with them for their Premier League return. He'll be in the top flight for Brighton instead, and that's exactly how things have played out on FM. White has been a key player for the Seagulls ever since he returned from up north, and to be honest, there's been nothing special in blue and white. There's been no big move further up the division, no England call-up, just mediocre performances and the odd goal, but likely not as good as that one against Charlton. Liam Cooper, Dundee. Leeds' captain, leader and legend is Leeds no more, with his career at Elland Road literally just about to end on this FM simulation. His contract there is expiring, with Cooper agreeing a deal to join Dundee up in Scotland on July 1st, which is today. On the game of course, not in reality. But while Cooper has been wonderful under Bielsa, he ended up pretty rotten on FM and even had to go to America to get away for a bit. He had a loan spell at David Beckham's Inter Miami, which I assume wasn't really the high profile sign that Golden Balls had in mind when he started the team. EZGJAN, ALIOSKI, Al Nassr. The left-sided flyer has also left Leeds by the year 2025, and I was about to say he's gone on to chase the money over in Saudi Arabia. But when I looked at his contract, that's not the case at all. ALIOSKI joined Al Nassr in 2022 for £4.8 million, but he's actually only on 20 grand a week. I mean, I know that's still a lot of money, but when you think about the players going to China, Japan, Qatar or Saudi Arabia, you think mega money contracts for average players. But ALIOSKI is doing well in Saudi Arabia, which is no surprise considering what he's up against, and his teammates include Villa winger Anwar Al Ghazi and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's son Noah. Stuart Dallas, Charlton. So Leeds have made it to the Premier League, but on Football Manager Stuart Dallas hasn't. An £8 million move to relegated Sheffield United basically ended his dreams, and it also saw him go on loan to MLS side Nashville. Did that not used to be a programme on Channel 4? Anyway, he's just completed his first season with Charlton after arriving on a free, and the Northern Irish winger did pretty well. But at the age of 34 his Premier League dream is never going to come true, mainly because of his age and the fact that Charlton just got relegated to League 1. KALVIN PHILLIPS, Norwich City. While on the other Leeds video KALVIN PHILLIPS stayed loyal, things are totally different here as this is a different simulation, because if it wasn't there'd be no mystery. So Phillips did leave Leeds here, but it was for big money at least. The Canaries paid Leeds £29 million for their superstar in 2021, and he's been a Premier League player ever since. Norwich being stable in the top flight, Christ this is unrealistic. He's been decent in the Prem, but not as good as Leeds fans will hope he'll be next season, except for that year he got 10 assists, that would be amazing. Matthias Klitsch, Sheffield Wednesday. Hold on to your hats, this guy has been in the Champions League. No, not with Leeds, or Sheffield Wednesday, come on don't be stupid, with Dynamo Zagreb. That's where Klitsch went in the summer of 2022, costing the Croatians £6.8 million, which is a decent wedge of cash. Okay, well it was 5 or 6 years ago. But anyway, Klitsch is back in England, and more importantly he's back in Yorkshire, although this time he's playing for Sheffield Wednesday. And sadly for him, he's already been deemed surplus to requirements and put on the transfer list for just 100 grand. Poor Wednesday fans, they never even got to see one of his trademark thunderbolts. Jack Harrison, Stoke City. The young Brit who went stateside then came back to England like it was some sort of movie featuring Amanda Bynes or Santiago Munez. Jack Harrison is a Stoke player in 2025, and sadly for him he's still swimming in Championship waters. He never returned to Leeds after that initial loan and ended up having a year in the top flight with Crystal Palace instead. And as you can see, it ended in relegation. God, this is a sad video. Pablo Hernandez retired. Okay, don't be alarmed. No, not that alarm, you moron. But Pablo Hernandez has disappeared off the face of the earth. His last known location was Oviedo in the summer of 2021, but after that there's no trace. He left Leeds in 2020 for Espanyol, then a year later went to Oviedo, but that's all we know. If you've got any information about where Pablo Hernandez went, or even if he's just okay, then let us know. My suspicion is that he's gone back to Qatar and got mixed in with the wrong crowd. That or he's just retired and at home watching CBeebies with the kids, either or. Patrick Bamford, Huddersfield Town. Right, we've got big news, brace yourselves, because Patrick Bamford has scored another Premier League goal. Only one though, calm down. Bamford played in the Prem with Leeds for a year and he got 1 goal in 19 games, and after that he was sold to Huddersfield for £4 million. He hasn't really found the goal scoring touch with the Terriers, and is now on the transfer list with an asking price of £1.8 million. I wouldn't be surprised if Bielsa still bought him in his retirement. He could go to the shops for him, cook his tea, all that kind of stuff. Bit like a housekeeper. So there we have it, that's what happened to Leeds' title winners by the year 2025 according to our Football Manager 2020 simulation. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo, and until next time, we'll see you around.